Kelsey Plum strikes again.
Just united front was determined this morning that we had a meeting for. And, not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that. But no, we were just, we had a very, that really needed to be mentioned.
That was ridiculous. That was childish, and Sabrina had to let it be known. I don't really think that was necessary. She trying to laugh it off, but Sabrina's not feeling you saying that.
During the 2025 WNBA All-Star press conference, tensions briefly flared when Kelsey Plum made a surprising comment, suggesting that Team Caitlin Clark hadn't been fully involved in planning the team's pre-game demonstration. The moment sparked subtle drama, but it was Sabrina Ionescu's reaction that stole the spotlight. Sitting right beside Plum, Sabrina visibly raised her eyebrows and rolled her eyes, a split-second response that instantly went viral. Her follow-up, a dry and sarcastic, that really needed to be mentioned, drew awkward laughter and hinted at possible internal division. While some saw it as minor shade, others viewed it as a quiet show of support for Caitlin Clark. One thing's certain, that press conference moment might go down as one of the most telling in recent WNBA history. If you're riding with Caitlin and Sabrina, drop CC plus Sab in the comments.
Now, Sabrina Ionescu quickly, swiftly, and in a hurry, kind of tried to stop Kelsey Plum from taking these little shots, but she didn't care.
Instantly, Sabrina, sitting right beside her, shot her a look of disbelief, raised her eyebrows, and rolled her eyes before firing off a sarcastic, "That really needed to be mentioned," drawing awkward laughs across the room. It was subtle, but it said everything. If you support Caitlin and Sabrina, then comment below CC and Sab. Let's go.
Y'all need media training, bro. Like, I hate to see y'all really need media training. This was so unnecessary. And then you gonna take shots after that trash game y'all displayed?
The tension in the room was undeniable. Sabrina Ionescu's expression said it all. Kelsey Plum's comment wasn't just unnecessary, it crossed a line. Especially considering Caitlin Clark wasn't even present to respond or defend herself. The awkward energy spoke volumes. But what truly set Caitlin apart was how she handled it. Instead of firing back or fueling the drama, she did what she always does, she waited. Then, with calm and precision, she responded at just the right moment. No theatrics, no back and forths, just quiet leadership. And somehow, that silence spoke louder than any viral quote ever could.
The shirts read, "Pay us what you owe us." And of course, everybody clowned that.
You said you wanted to look united, right? You wanted to make it look like y'all all were on one accord. You wanted to make it look like the advocacy was there between you all. And you come out and say 0 members of Team Caitlin Clark was there. How do you think that make y'all look now?
She joined you guys to stand as a one united front, and then you go and take shots at her when she's responsible for more than 55% of the business? Are you crazy? Have you lost your damn mind?
The game itself was supposed to be about unity. Every player who traveled to Indianapolis stood together sporting "Pay us what you owe us" shirts before tip-off, a bold statement supporting the players' collective bargaining push for better pay and working conditions. The visual was powerful. The message was clear: we're all in this together, regardless of rivalries. At first, fans and media embraced the moment. For once, the spotlight was on collective solidarity instead of internal drama. Plum even called it a powerful experience, explaining that the shirt protest was organized that morning during a players-only meeting. But then, just moments later, she completely undermined that message by throwing Clark's team under the bus for not being present at the meeting.
We know your league doesn't make a profit, and the only hopes of it making a profit is that lady right there on my screen.
Y'all only got close to the green for the first time ever because of Caitlin Clark's there.
You tried to get them more money last year behind the scenes. They still didn't like you. You came out and spoke out for black women and black women athletes, especially black women basketball players. They still don't like it. Don't matter what you do. The peers of the WNBA do not mess with you. It just is what it is.
The irony couldn't be more obvious. Here are players demanding higher pay while simultaneously stirring up drama around the one player, Caitlin Clark, who has single-handedly brought in the viewership, attention, and sponsorship money to make that pay raise possible. Sabrina's reaction didn't just steal the moment, it saved it. Her deadpan sarcasm and immediate discomfort reflected exactly what many were thinking. Did Plum really just do that? As Plum took a cheap shot at players who weren't even there, Sabrina looked visibly stunned, realizing her teammate had just stepped into a PR nightmare.
These women are insufferable. They don't deserve more money. They don't get any ratings outside of Caitlin Clark. They openly disrespect her. They don't deserve Caitlin Clark. They don't deserve attention. They don't deserve a league.
Caitlin Clark, I want her to clap back so bad. She needs to clap back, man. Stop being nice. Stop doing people favors. Stop trying to help a sister out. Stop doing all that stuff, bro. These are some ungrateful hyenas.
Keep in mind, Ionescu was originally selected to Team Clark before Clark had to withdraw due to injury. So this wasn't just any moment of discomfort, this was personal. Sabrina clearly still felt some allegiance to Clark, which made Plum's criticism sting even more. She was basically taking aim at her own all-star squad. And Sabrina wasn't about to let it slide.
Part of me just does wish you would be like, look, man, I'm tired of y'all disrespecting. I'm tired of y'all hating and taking shots. Go figure this out on your own. Let me see y'all get a deal done without me, without my numbers, without my fans who y'all all claim was racist. Y'all called all of her fans racist, but you want to use the numbers supported by those same racist fans. You want to use those numbers to try to get more money.
That perfectly timed eye roll and dry response, pure class. In that moment, Sabrina Ionescu showed more maturity than the veteran sitting right next to her. It didn't take long for the NBA world to react. Stacey King, a former NBA champion and longtime teammate of Michael Jordan, didn't hold back, calling Plum's remark a petty shot at Caitlin Clark. When former NBA champions start weighing in on WNBA press conference behavior, you know the moment struck a nerve. It was a clear sign that something deeper is going on, and it's not a good look for the league.
Caitlin Clark gets hurt, and guess what? Your demand vanishes because people ain't going to pay up to see these athletes that are ungrateful that their sport's growing. People aren't paying up for that. And we are here, right here. The tickets for this game, for this All-Star game, they've dropped by 50%.
It's respected voices from across the basketball world calling out unprofessional behavior, and that speaks volumes. It shows just how far Caitlin Clark's influence reaches. The way she's being treated isn't just a WNBA issue, it's a basketball issue. And the more this kind of drama plays out in public, the more players like Plum come across as out of touch and insecure.
Taking a shot like this at the player that's the only reason you're in a position to ask for more money is crazy, and that's a fact.
Them relying so heavily on Caitlin Clark, one player, to generate their money, it's going to take some time, man, to get y'all those $200-300 million contracts, bro. It just is. This isn't like a one and done thing that's going to take, you know what I'm saying, a year or two. Y'all got to show proven years of winning. And the way y'all attacking Caitlin Clark, beating her up, battering her, I don't know what the future even look like for y'all with viewership and entertainment.
This issue goes beyond financial impact. It exposes a troubling cultural divide within the WNBA. A league can't thrive if its players are more focused on personal conflicts than on advancing the game. Caitlin Clark has done more to elevate women's basketball to a national stage than anyone in recent memory. Yet instead of uniting behind that momentum, some athletes seem more intent on creating division, much of it directed at Clark, for reasons that make little sense, either logically or professionally. What's striking is how Clark continues to carry herself with composure, even while certain veterans act more like cliquish teenagers than professional athletes. The contrast highlights a stark difference in professionalism, and it's becoming clear who is truly helping push the league forward and who is content to disrupt from the sidelines.
Let's be serious here. Caitlin Clark is the one bringing in the numbers. We watched the ticket prices drop 50% when Caitlin Clark was announced that she will not be participating due to her injury. The ticket prices dropped by 50% for an all-star game. That should tell y'all other players, you're not as popping as you think you are. I'm sorry.
What's happening now isn't just a one-off controversy, it reflects a troubling pattern that's unfolded throughout the season. Rather than embracing the surge of attention Caitlin Clark has brought to the WNBA, some players appear fixated on downplaying her impact. The most recent example came from Kelsey Plum, who took an unnecessary swipe at Clark during a press conference, despite Clark being sidelined with an injury and not even present. This kind of behavior highlights a larger issue: players actively working to discredit the very person whose rising star is creating more opportunities for everyone. It's a form of self-sabotage, cutting down the golden goose in front of a national audience, and it's harming the league more than helping it.
How did we get to an all-star game in Indiana where Caitlin Clark is not healthy enough to play? Well, it all started last year, in her rookie season, where she received 20% of all the flagrant fouls in the league. And most of them came from Angel Reese in the Chicago Sky. And these weren't basketball plays. They were not only fouling her, but they were getting up, laughing about it, laughing about Caitlin Clark getting assaulted. Any other work environment, people go to jail for what's going on.
What makes this even more alarming is how this petty infighting has become part of the public conversation. When respected NBA legends and top-tier sports analysts start openly criticizing WNBA players for how they're treating their own biggest draw, it's clear there's a real problem. These aren't random critics, they're influential voices within the basketball community. Things hit a boiling point when WNBA players voted Caitlin Clark as only the 9th best guard in the league. The response online was immediate and overwhelming. Fans and commentators ridiculed the ranking, calling it laughable. The backlash dominated both social media and sports talk for days. Instead of acknowledging the controversy or trying to shift the conversation in a positive direction, players like Kelsey Plum only reinforced the narrative. The result? A full-blown PR mess, one that could have easily been avoided with even a basic understanding of how to manage the league's public image.
And last year, I noticed how much it was just Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark was taking all the hits. Caitlin Clark was taking all the abuse. But this year they've added Sophie Cunningham. She gets more flagrant fouls on her than anybody in the league besides Caitlin Clark. And Aaliyah Boston, she's been taking hits as well. But the worst thing is the consistency. So they don't call flagrant fouls, or most of the time, Caitlin Clark could be held for an entire game at a time. They don't call fouls. They don't call common fouls. But then when it's the Indiana Fever, guess what? Touch foul here, touch foul here. They call absolutely nothing.
At its core, this controversy exposes a serious gap between how some WNBA players perceive their own value and what actually drives fan interest in the league. Caitlin Clark has already been at the center of multiple viral moments, not for showboating, but for being on the receiving end of some highly questionable plays. She was shoved to the floor by Marina Mabrey and took a hit to the eye from JC Sheldon. Yet through it all, she never lashed out. She kept her composure and focused on the game. The foul by Mabrey was so blatant that even the league acknowledged she should have been ejected. But Clark didn't respond with drama or complaints. No emotional outbursts, no public finger-pointing, just quiet resilience and a team-first mindset. That level of professionalism is rare, and it's exactly the kind of leadership the WNBA should be rallying behind.
Really unfortunate that Caitlin Clark missed it. The crowd would have been exploding. The crowd would have been exploding. The arena would have been exploding. Oh man, a big miss as far as the WNBA is concerned.
And yet, the hostility, both verbal and physical, hasn't let up. What's more troubling is that it's not just coming from opponents, but from within the league itself. When you combine the questionable player voting, subtle jabs during press conferences, and a rising number of controversial officiating decisions, the picture becomes clear. Instead of rallying around the athlete bringing unprecedented attention and revenue to the WNBA, the league appears to be unraveling around her. Even the refereeing has come under heavy scrutiny, with fans and analysts alike pointing out missed calls and inconsistent treatment directed at Clark. That's not how successful professional leagues typically treat a once-in-a-generation talent. In most cases, a star of her caliber would be supported, promoted, and protected because lifting her up elevates the entire league, but instead, the response has often been combative. And that's disheartening, especially considering Clark has done nothing to deserve such treatment. She has shown humility, grace, and maturity under pressure. She's taken the high road time and again. When the league launched an investigation into racially motivated fan behavior, she voiced her support, demonstrating a genuine commitment to unity and fairness. Despite that, the negativity keeps coming, often from those who stand to gain the most from her rise. Her professionalism should be the benchmark. Yet she's constantly forced to prove herself to peers who seem more threatened by her success than appreciative of the platform she's helped expand for everyone.
From $121 all the way down to just $64 after news broke that Caitlin Clark won't be playing. These are people saying, I'm done. I don't want to watch. Caitlin Clark's not. I bought tickets solely to watch Caitlin Clark in the All-Star game. I made accommodations solely to get to Indiana to watch Caitlin Clark in the All-Star game. She is injured. I have no interest in that anymore. People are selling their tickets so much so they just want off of them. 121, okay. You want it for 100? Oh no, okay. I guess I gotta lower it to 80. Oh, you don't want to buy it for 80? Okay, I guess I'll lower it to 70. You don't want to buy it to 70? I guess I'll lower it to $64. The WNBA is paying attention to these trends, and they're seeing firsthand what Caitlin Clark is worth to this league.
And that's the real tragedy here. It's not just about Clark. It's about what this says regarding the WNBA's internal culture. When multiple players from different teams consistently undermine the league's biggest draw, it suggests a wider issue, not just a few isolated jealousies. Professional leagues thrive when they put their top talent front and center, build storylines that attract fans, and create an environment of mutual respect and shared goals. But the WNBA seems trapped in a cycle of negative headlines, social media spats, and self-inflicted wounds. The actual basketball, ironically, often takes a back seat. From a business perspective, this is a nightmare. Clark is single-handedly boosting ticket sales, broadcast ratings, and sponsor interest. That's more money for everyone. Yet, the behavior of certain players is scaring away potential fans and investors. Even while injured and kept from participating in the All-Star game, Clark continued to promote the league and show support. She's done everything right despite being targeted at nearly every turn. From $121 all the way down to just $64 after news broke that Caitlin Clark won't be playing. These are people saying, I'm done. I don't want to watch. Caitlin Clark's not. I bought tickets solely to watch Caitlin Clark in the All-Star game. I made accommodation solely to get to Indiana to watch Caitlin Clark in the All-Star game. She is injured. I have no interest in that anymore. People are selling their tickets so much so they just want off of them. 121, okay. You want it for 100? Oh no. Okay. I guess I got to lower it to 80. Oh, you don't want to buy it for 80? Okay. I guess I'll lower it to 70. You don't want to buy it for 70? I guess I'll lower it to $64. The WNBA is paying attention to these trends and they're seeing firsthand what Caitlin Clark is worth to this league. And that leads us to perhaps the saddest part of all. The movement meant to represent WNBA unity. Those pay us what you owe us shirts should have been a powerful moment to push for better compensation and treatment. Instead, it became another bitter reminder of the